Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Faith. If you're new, yes, I am pre-filming all of this stuff. It is fall, it's just we're getting a bit of a heat wave over here in Connecticut, and I'm using it to pre-film a ton of positive videos for you guys. Today I actually wanted to talk about the fact that it's okay to make mistakes. I am probably one of the most indecisive people you will meet, or was, past tense, because I'm getting a lot better, but indecisive when it comes to small things as well as when it comes to big things. And I realized that the reason for that was that because I have this fear of like making mistakes. And I do think that a part of it does come from childhood and stuff, being a kid who just, you know, wanted to do a good job all the time and not disappointing like the people's opinions that I cared about the most. It manifests into now just not wanting to disappoint myself. Being afraid of making mistakes can honestly cripple you in certain ways in life. Mistakes are necessary to the human experience. It's necessary to live and to learn and grow. When you make mistakes, you learn, okay, this didn't work out, I'm gonna try to do it this way next time, or that way. You try it again, and if you make a mistake again, this way or that way, like, it guides you to how to do something right. For me personally, my fear of making mistakes was actually inhibiting me from growing, prevented me from wanting to do certain things in life. Instead, I would avoid things altogether. Solo travel kind of pushed me to have to make certain decisions and have to make certain choices, being by myself and, you know, more independent and away from home for like months at a time, thinking, what do I want in life? Well, I don't know, God, what do you want me to have? Yes, it's good to seek God's will, because I'm always the type that's just like, it's not what I want because I don't know the future, I don't know how it's gonna turn out. God, how do you want it? How do you see it? It's whatever you want. And while there is like good intention behind that, I also feel like God has created us to build life alongside him. He says that he's the lamp unto our feet. You know, he guides our path. He doesn't take the step for us. He guides us as we take our steps. I just always go back to that verse and I think like he empowers us with all of the wisdom and understanding and comfort so that we can make choices and be confident in the life that we're building and the life that we live. I've just had to overcome the fear of making mistakes within the past few weeks so many times, and I've done so many new things, which I'm so proud of myself. Things that I've never done, that I've wanted to. It's okay to make mistakes. It is. Another thing that I want to add is that when it comes to making a mistake and the fear of it, the fear of making the wrong choice to the point where we don't choose at all, that fear is probably not, what you're fearing is probably not as bad as you think. Chances are the world's not going to explode. It's not going to be the end of the world. Like, I always try to tell myself, especially when it comes to anxiety, because the Lord gives me peace in all ways, but I feel like one like strategic way of thinking that he's put in my mind is just, Faith, think of the worst. You know, people are usually like, oh, don't think of the worst. I think of the worst, but in the proper way. Think of the worst that could possibly happen. Okay. Now, if that happens, is your world over? Like, is that really the worst? The worst thing, truly, and this, you know, probably sounds like a bit much, but for me, the worst thing that can possibly happen to a human being is that they pass away an unbeliever. The worst thing that can happen to us is not death, especially if you're a believer, because it will come to us all, you know, and that's just, you know, the doorway to the Father if we're a believer. The worst thing that can happen is that you pass an unbeliever, because now your soul isn't saved and now your eternity is not certain. That's the worst thing that can happen to me. That's the worst thing that can happen to your loved ones, your friends, which is why it's so important to spread the gospel, because if you love people, you will realize it's not just their life that's important, but also the future of their soul. Anyways, I say all this to say that the worst is really never the worst. The worst thing is not messing up on a presentation or tripping or something like that in front of a classroom. The worst thing is not a breakup, is not losing a friend. Chances are whatever makes us anxious or whatever makes us scared to make the wrong choice, chances are it's not the worst, and you will get through it. And that always gives me peace, because I realize, okay, if I choose something and it's not the right choice, it's okay, life still goes on, and I learned a lesson, a valuable lesson. With making mistakes come learning, and I just wanted to come here to encourage you guys, positive thinking and spiritual support, that just pray to the Father before you make decisions. Commune with Him, because He loves you, and He's the one that's guiding you. He's the lamp unto your feet. It doesn't matter which way you turn, as long as He's by your side, He will guide you the right way eventually. So, you know, don't be afraid to do good things. Don't be afraid to take that leap, to take that step, to do something that you've wanted to do. As long as it doesn't endanger you or another person, then, you know, go for it. And I just want to be that person that's like, it's okay. Even if you're watching this and you have made a mistake and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so bad, it's okay. That's part of life, is having those moments where we mess up so that we could know how to do it right. Just like babies. Look at babies and how they splash around with their food and they trip over, and you watch a baby as it goes from crawling to walking. They have to mess up, and they have to have the courage to try to do something they don't know how to do, in order to eventually learn how to do it right. I want this video to be kind of brief, and I don't want to ramble on too long. Definitely give this video a like and share it with people, because you never know what people are honestly going through. I feel like this is something for everyone to hear at some point. I'm just so glad to be sharing this moment with you, and if you're watching, then I'm so grateful for you, and I pray that the Father is just covering you in all of your decisions and giving you peace. That's all I have for today. Definitely subscribe to the channel. I have so many videos, so I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up into like the fall and winter time. I like the sun on my channel just like I like the sun in my life. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.